Sorry to keep you waiting. I've had a full day of meetings, very constructive meetings, and it's been about a year since I was here last. It's always wonderful to come back to Macedonia. I've been visiting your beautiful country since March of 1997, and I'm very happy to say that the country has come a long way, of course, since 1997. I'm also happy to say that the interests and policies of the United States towards this region, the Western Balkans, and towards Macedonia in particular, remain to strongly support the integration of the region of Macedonia in Europe, to support the legitimate wishes of the country, of its citizens, to have a more stable, democratic, and prosperous future. We believe very strongly that we share this goal with the citizens and also political leaders of the country, and we look forward to continue to work with the political parties, the government, the parliament, civil society, to advance this goal. I think you all know that we are concerned, and we believe it's unfortunate that recently the progress of Macedonia towards the goal of a more prosperous future integrated in Europe has not been as positive and fast as it should be. Largely because of an ongoing political crisis that now has been continuing for over 2.5 years. In particular, it is unfortunate that the political leaders of Macedonia have been unable to form a government based on the elections that you had in December, elections that were observed and considered to be credible by the international community, and more importantly, elections that were accepted, the outcome of which was accepted by all political parties in Macedonia. And even more unfortunate and alarming, I would say, is the very unfortunate incident that took place in the parliament last Thursday, when members of parliament were violently, cowardly attacked for committing no greater offense than electing by a majority vote a new Speaker of Parliament. So we believe it is, of course, as you know, Ambassador Bailey and his team, United States, has strongly condemned these attacks, and we call upon the authorities of this country to fully investigate, to promptly investigate the attacks, and to hold those who are responsible accountable, and to bring them to justice. We believe it's very important for the political leaders of the country to find a way to end the political crisis, to end the impasse that they have had now for over 2.5 years. We feel that, and as we've stated before, it is very important for the leaders to find a way to allow the majority in Parliament, the coalition of members of Parliament that have a majority, to propose a government and a government program. We understand there are concerns about the composition of the government program, and like in all European democracies, we believe that whatever is proposed by the majority, it should be considered seriously in Parliament, it should be debated in Parliament, and it should be voted in Parliament. We believe that's a proper place to have this debate, in the legislative body, not outside. I would say that it's also, we feel, important for the country to come together for the political parties, for civil society, for all to work together. Wounds occurred last Thursday in Parliament, but wounds from too long. And the way to do that is to form a new government, a government that's going to be committed to the kinds of reforms that will bring this country closer to European integration. We're committed, Ambassador Bailey and his team, the entire embassy, the State Department, USAID forms necessary to join the European Union. And if you decide to join in standing that to end this impasse, to end to take your questions. That is something you'll have to ask your leaders, your elected leaders. It's their decision, not ours. I believe, based on my conversation, first of all, that all of the leaders, political leaders in this country, are committed to a democratic, unitary institution of Macedonia. They're committed to a prosperous, more stable future for all of the people of Macedonia. But it's important now to act on that aspiration, to move beyond the words, to move beyond parliamentary procedures, and to make decisions to end this crisis and to start adopting reforms that are needed to bring a better future for the country.
Today you met the new speaker. Does that mean that the United States has no doubts about recognizing him or the legal procedures?
Look, what's important is what the political leadership of this country does in ending the crisis. That means, in our view, it's approving a new government, creating a new government and a new government program so that it's able to pass laws and reforms, that it's able to pay salaries, to ensure that the business of this government is performed in a timely and responsible manner. Of course, you will have noted that the United States has stated publicly that it will work with the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Safari. Also, the European Union has indicated the same, as has NATO and Berlin. So that Mr. Safari should be given every opportunity to demonstrate the leadership necessary to begin the steps necessary to form a new government program that will move the country ahead.
Who specifically authorized your visit here from the State Department? Mr. Yi.
Excuse me, I called.
I'll take your question next. I'll take your question next.
Yes, but our president repeat again that the document from Tirana is the problem for forming a new government, and the process is blocked with the month.
Because of the Tirana program.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, as I mentioned earlier, we understand jobs and opportunities for its young people. The proper place to have this debate is in the Parliament. So if any political leader has concerns, has views, has objections, either express them in the Parliament, if he or she is a member of Parliament, or to make sure that his or her representatives are informed about what their concerns are. But we seek this debate in Parliament, where it belongs. Next question, sir.
I wanted to ask you, because somebody from the embassy did not clarify the question. Who specifically authorized your visit? Was it some specific person higher than you? Was it yourself? Was it an invitation?
So my name is Hoјt Јi. I am the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Europe. And I think all of you know that the United States government is a serious organization, that we work on basic bureaucratic principles, especially when they are involving the relations with foreign governments, that they are based on this principle that the leadership, the responsible authorities are aware of and approve of what the people below them are doing. And that is the case with my visit here.
Did you receive guarantees for a peaceful transfer of the Thank you. Did you receive guarantees from VMRO that there will be peaceful transfer of the power from Gruevski?
We hear from every leader, every representative, to a democratic, unitary state, and to the basic democratic principles of a peaceful transfer, of peaceful resolution of conflicts, and of finding solutions that will be inclusive, that will not leave anyone outside, will not leave anyone isolated. The country towards the goal that all of the citizens, at least it appears to me, share, which is a future in Europe.
But the party that was recently the ruling party does not accept Mr. Jafari as the new Speaker of Parliament. Even the ex-Speaker of Parliament announced that he will call the next session of Parliament. May that be the source of new problems? And
I think in politics it's very important to have an open discussion of differences of opinion between the political parties that are represented. I think it is legitimate for parties to express their concerns, but these should be resolved in accordance with normal democratic principles. In other words, if the majority of members of parliament are in favor of Mr. Jafari, they should have the right to elect him. If there are concerns about Mr. Jafari's program or what he is doing as Speaker, I think parties have the right to raise these in Parliament to have their concerns addressed.
Mr. Yi, there are thoughts that the sanctions are an option from Washington and Brussels towards those politicians who are blocking the processes. Have you tackled these issues?
Well, let me say that the United States and Macedonia are partners. We believe very much in the principle that partners have shared interests and shared values and a shared responsibility. And when partners are working together on common efforts, whether it's a peacekeeping mission or it's a commercial venture, but I think the United States takes seriously what it says and what it does and what it is willing to do to help its partners.
By the meeting with Mr. Gruevski, did you see him as a responsibility to be a new leader of the opposition?
You'll have to ask Mr. Gruevski what his intentions are. Again, what I found in my meetings today and yesterday was first an understanding from all the leaders of the seriousness of the situation, the need to end the crisis and to move the country forward. What role each of the leaders will play in this moment will depend on negotiations and discussions between the parties. What we have explained again to the leaders is that the United States stands ready to help this country achieve its goal of a more prosperous, stable, and democratic state, and that those who have reached being closer to the European Union, closer to NATO, they will find very willing partners in the United States.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Sorry again for keeping you wait so long.
Hvala ti puno, si živ, kako ruke?
dobro je.
Izvini, ali nije bilo šanse da te zameni?
Hvala mnogo.